It's thought that the origin of the name Monk's Hall harks back in history as far as the early 1200s AD. The monks of Whaley or Whalley Abbey are known to have owned huge swathes of land around the Eccles area, and it's quite possible that the hall could have been named for them. An alternative story is that in 1394 there was a man named locally as Henry de Monks, and he's noted as living in the town, and it's possible the original house could have took his family name. But since those days, the hall has seen many developments and uses, from a place of worship for nonconformist congregations under the leadership of Reverend Edmund Jones back in 1662 to a humble farmhouse in 1836. It was during the construction of a new road, a hoard of some 6,000 plus medieval coins were discovered close to a boundary wall. The cachet was most likely buried following civil disturbances in the area at the time, although Tony Flynn claims to have lost the coins whilst waiting for a trolley bus, but nice try, Tony. For a short period of time, the hall became the residence of Dr. George Sidley, and it was later passed on to his son, also a doctor, Dr. I.M. Ridley. We assume he couldn't read his father's handwriting, because who can read a doctor's handwriting? Anyway, the now defunct Eccles Council,
Bloody council!
get over it, took ownership of the house along with the surrounding land and its furnishings in 1959. And just 2 years later, it was opened as a museum by Lord Derby, probably not Terence Trent D'Arby's dad, as Tony suggests. And he was assisted by the Mayor of Eccles, one Alderman R. Benson, and Councillor G. Edwards, Councillor Dow, and Dr. Owen, who was the director of Manchester Museum at the time. The hall saw countless numbers of people come through its doors during its golden age of its existence, and it became loved and beloved by the people of not only Eccles but from across the entire region. Within a few years of opening, it was granted Grade 2 listed status for its historical value by Historic England back in 1964. And over the years, the museum held some fascinating exhibitions, including artwork by greats such as L.S. Lowry, Harold Riley, and even our good friend Geoffrey Key. Also, local school kids and painting and photographic societies will hold regular exhibitions there. The doors finally closed, sadly, as a museum back in the 1980s, and it stood empty until reopening for a brief period of time in 1997. But even that revival was short-lived, and it was eventually closed and sold to its current owner, property developer Mark Hammond, who had planned to radically transform the building into 4 luxurious flats, with additional 24 flats to the land to the rear. The building was inevitably left empty, and eventually locals would witness the heart-wrenching fire that ripped through it on the evening of Wednesday, the 20th of April 2016, causing what can only be described as catastrophic damage. As you can probably see from this quickly cobbled together drone footage, the building is in a really sad and sorry state of disrepair. Its roof has collapsed inwards in parts, floors now pretty much are non-existent. Its walls are crumbling, and nature has started to claim it back as trees and foliage take root within the walls which once held so much local history. Its fate currently remains unknown, and its future is uncertain, to say the least. Some have even questioned if the building is still salvageable at this point. One man even suggested taking it apart brick by brick and rebuilding it in nearby Buell Hill Park. It's a damn shame, really, as it holds so much historic value to not only the people of Eccles, but also to the city of Salford. I did that in one take.
Bloody council!